Hello everyone and welcome back to Brink of Speed. My name is Mike, and if you're new to the channel, we love to have you join the Brink of Speed community. So make sure and hit that subscribe and bell button so that you're notified when my new content comes out. Now, I'm super excited to talk to you about these effective secrets to buying a car correctly when you go to a dealership. And I wanted to do this because I used to be a salesman myself. Back a few years ago, I sold cars. But I do have quite a bit of experience selling cars. Before I start off, I want to start this by saying there are good car dealerships out there. And I will name a few. I live in Dallas, Texas. You can always count on Sewell, and I'll put this name in the description and up here on the screen. But you can always count on Sewell dealerships to treat you right and fairly. That doesn't mean that the information I'm giving you today won't help with a fair dealership, because you can still go in armed with great negotiation skills. Also, Classic Chevrolet over here in Grapevine, and I've had nothing but good dealings with Corvette World of Dallas. And so I just want to put that out there that there are good dealerships. However, I've found in the years I've been doing business with dealerships and buying my own cars that there probably are more bad than good. But there are a lot that are changing for the good. Another thing that I want to say before we get into this is do not go test drive anything before you've educated yourself. And this is actually the number one issue before we actually get to the number one. It's the number 1A, and then we'll get to number 1B. A large number of cars, and I mean most, that I sold to people was because they wanted to test drive the car to get a feel for what they wanted. And trust me when I tell you, that is the correct way of doing things. You definitely want to drive the car before you negotiate price or anything else. But you don't want to drive the car before you're educated. This gives all the power to the salesman and the dealership and makes you an easy so-called target. So make sure you do all of the steps I'm about to tell you before you ever go to a dealership. And just so you know, I'm not going to give it to you right up front, but towards the end of this video, you will hear the number one secret that dealerships do not want you to know about. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to go over with you is you need to get on the internet and you need to do lots of research on the car or cars that you're looking at. Some people are going to say, well, I'm looking at multiple types of cars and I don't know which one I want. That's fine. But what you need to do before you ever go to one dealership or multiple dealerships to test drive different cars or just one car is you need to get on the internet and look at exactly what you're thinking you want and you want to test drive. And so if you look at the screen here, I'm showing you a few different places that I've already taken the time to look up, okay? And so what I've done is I've gone to AutoNation Honda of Louisville, and I've typed in some parameters, and I've come up with a 2018 Honda Accord sedan LX 1.5 turbo. And as you can see, the MSRP is $24,465. So now when we come to the next page, Vandegrift Honda, for a similar spec 2018 Honda Accord sedan, we're looking at right around the same price. Now, they're going to give you their savings and their Vandegrift price of $22,794. So obviously, this other site is not doing that yet. Maybe if we, dove into this deeper and, clicked on the car, we may get a different price. But so far, we're at $24,465, which is pretty much exactly what this one started at. $24,465. Okay. Now we're going to go to one of my favorite sites, which is Car Gurus. And we're looking at 2018, and look at that, $24,465. However, what you can do is you can actually click on the car here, and it stays at $24,465. But when you scroll down, this is going to give you a price analysis. And it's going to tell you that there's a fair price to pay, a really good price to pay, and a great price to pay. And so it's giving you an idea of if you're able to negotiate well with the dealership, you could pay as low as $20,565 for this car that on two different sites is going for $24,465. And when we click on cars.com, look at this, $24,615. And these are all very similar spec'd out cars. These are actually 2019s now that I look at this, but I'm sure if we put in 2018, let's do 2018. Yeah, so here you go, $24,465. So as you can see, even a 2018 is on this site is priced the exact same as on these other sites. So there's something very consistent there, and that's actually a good thing. But you want to look at a site like this to tell you what you could possibly maybe talk the manager or dealership down to get a great price. Okay? So that's the first step. Get online and do your research. The second step is once you've figured out exactly which car you want, you need to decide which is more important to you. Price, payment, or maybe both of those, price and payment. But when I sold cars, basically what I figured out very quickly is people either want a good price for the car or they want a good payment. And there's two different thoughts of thinking there. The person that wants a good price normally has everything figured out and they know exactly what price they want to pay, and they don't care about the payment because the payment falls in line with their price that they want to pay, or they're paying cash and that's all they care about. Whereas someone that's wanting payment does not have enough money to buy the car cash, or they don't have enough saved up to really put that big of a down payment. And so they're just wanting to try and get to a certain number that they have in their head so that they feel like they can afford that payment each month. So if the price is the most important component, obviously you must decide exactly what you're willing to pay for that car before you head to the dealership. Keep in mind though, car dealerships need to make money in order to stay in business. I know that's contrary to what most people tell you about, car dealerships. They make so much money that they can afford to lose money on a car. But that really isn't true. They can never afford to lose any money on any car. If that were the case, everybody would think that way. And then you would have the majority of the population going to dealerships paying as low as they could pay. And that dealership, let me tell you, it would go out of business quickly. Okay? However, you still have the right to ask for a discount. And that's what's important here. If payment is all you care about, you need to go to a payment calculator and put in exactly the price range you're looking at and see what it's going to take to get to the payment that you're looking to get to, or the payment range that you're looking to get to. Whether, that's more money down, a trade-in, both, or just getting the price where you need it to be in order with the number of months that you're, willing to pay on this car, and that gets you to the payment that you can pay. Bottom line, though, is you need to know all of this before you ever step foot in a dealership. Now, to take it a step further, is you need to go to your local bank or your local credit union, preferably credit union. I find that their rates are lower, and secure a loan for the car that you want before you ever go to the dealership. This gives you all the power in the negotiations because you already have the money and payment figured out. Now, a lot of you are going to go, wow, that is a great idea. But there's still a second part to that. You can't go to the dealership like in the old days and walk in there and say, I don't need financing. I just want to negotiate price. I'm paying cash for this car, yada, yada, yada. That actually gives a lot of power back to the dealership because what you don't know is that the dealership makes a lot of their profit off of finance. And the guy in the finance manager's office, he will sell you everything under the sun that he can to make even more profit, build even more profit into the deal. But the number one thing that they make profit off of in finance is the actual rate. So if they know for a fact that they cannot make a penny off of you on that finance rate, then believe me, they are going to make that money up somewhere, and most likely it's going to be in the price. So they are not going to be willing to budge on price like they would be if they thought there was a chance that you were going to finance with them. So when you get to the dealership, don't tell them you have financing. Let them know that you will be financing the car when they ask, and tell them that the most important thing to you, besides that you obviously like the car, is the price that you want to pay for that car. So I would be upfront and open with them and just say, I'm going to finance. And don't go any further than that. They will believe that you're going to use their financing, and that's okay. Let them believe that. After you test drive the car and you love it, and you get to an agreed price, which you will probably have to involve a manager with, because a lot of times the salesman cannot do what you're asking them to do, then let them know you will be writing them a check, or the bank will be sending them a check for that amount. Now, the next thing you're going to hear is a famous and very effective phrase from either the finance manager or the sales manager. Most of the time it's the sales manager. But this phrase is, if we can match or beat the rate you're getting from your bank, will you use us for financing? And that's going to be up to you how you answer that question. Because a lot of times when I'm asked that, the first response question that I ask them is, well, doesn't that mean that you're going to be pulling my credit and you're going to be running my credit through a bunch of different places? Because that's another good reason to get financed through your bank or a credit union. Because that way you're only running it one time and you're getting exactly what you need with one pull. So there is nothing wrong with this question. It's actually something you want to hear, because now you know they understand you're educated and are about to properly negotiate a good car deal for yourself. So the next thing I want to go over with you, and it's the number 4 secret, is that you have the right to ask the sales manager to show you their invoice on the car that you are looking to buy. Believe it or not, if they do business the correct way, they should show you that invoice. You also have the right to ask them to sell that car to you for that exact price, or you could even ask them to give you under invoice. But again, keep in mind that a dealership is a business, and a business has to make money off of you to be able to stay in business. Now, if you play your cards right, though, the manager will show you the invoice for their car, And then it's up to you to ask for that price or even lower. So this is going to all depend on your negotiation skills and what you feel comfortable doing. But if you get the manager to show you the invoice, the first thing that I would do is I would say, are you willing to sell me this car at that price? And a lot of times you will be surprised what their answer is. So let's go ahead, and this is not the fifth secret, but this is actually the number one thing that dealerships do not want you to know about, and that is dealer holdback. I would be surprised if you've heard of this, because even a lot of sales guys that sell cars don't know about this for a long time, and some never find out about it at all. I'm telling you about this because even if you succeed in getting the manager to sell you the car at invoice, or maybe a little less than invoice, the dealership is still making a good amount of money off of you. They have hidden in every single car deal something called dealer holdback. It's a pretty decent size figure that they make off of every car, even if they sell it for invoice. So that is the number one secret they do not want you to know, because 99, actually probably 100 times out of 100, when you get someone to sell you a car for right at invoice or a little below invoice, the manager is always going to say, man, you cost us a bunch of money today, and we made zero profit off of you today, but I hope you're happy, and yada, yada, yada. Trust me. They made a decent profit off of you. It's something that the manufacturer pays them to sell that car, no matter whether they sell it for MSRP or invoice or anywhere around there. So they're still making a decent amount. So I saved this one for last, the number 5 secret, because it is the last process in the car buying process, which is the finance manager. Even if you aren't financing the car through the dealership, you will still have to fill out all the paperwork with them. And trust me, like I said in the beginning, they are going to try and sell you everything under the sun in this process. The first thing that you must say yes to, that they are going to try and sell you, is gap insurance. This is going to be something that I would always recommend that you put on your car. It's not expensive, and it protects you in case you total your car and your car happens to be worth less than what you still owe on the car, which is going to be the case almost 100% of the time because of the way that new cars depreciate after you drive them off the lot. Also, you need to figure out how long you plan to keep the car and how many miles you think you will put on it during that time. Because if these two equal more than the manufacturer's warranty, then you definitely need to consider an extended warranty. If you're willing to take the risk of driving a car past its manufacturer's warranty, that's fine, and it may be a risk worth taking. But there's a lot of people out there that have had trouble with their cars past the manufacturer's warranty, and they end up spending thousands upon thousands of dollars on problems that they would have had a $100 deductible for, or no deductible for, if they had bought an extended warranty. And extended warranties sound expensive, and a lot of times they can be expensive if you don't negotiate them, but that's another thing that you can negotiate. Don't just buy it for what the finance manager is trying to sell it to you for. You can totally negotiate that price also. So if you think you will want an extended warranty, try to pay less than what they are trying to sell it to you for. You can even ask them for a pricing sheet that they don't have to show you, but should be willing to show you actually what their bottom line pricing is for that particular warranty. And nowadays they have so many different scenarios of choosing a extended warranty. But that is something that I would definitely highly recommend considering. I'm not saying that all people should buy it, but just consider it. So that's going to do it for now. I really hope you enjoyed this. I also hope that you guys will want me to do more videos like this. And obviously, this video was for a new car buyer. If you would like me to do a used car video like this, or any other thing that you can think of that has to do with the car buying process, make sure and leave me a comment below. Again, if you like this video, smash that thumbs up button. And if you'd love to be a part of the Brink of Speed community, hit that subscribe and the bell button so that you're notified when my new content comes out. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you out on the road.